Another really important, hugely important part of this picture is what Treacher is going to talk about now. And Prem referred to the fact that there's 1.6 million staff who are paid care staff, but the way they are treated is a disgrace. Ali is a Unite member and working for Unite and Care and Support Workers Organise, one of the founding members of this new organisation. She's going to talk about the care and support workers' experience and what needs to change. So welcome, Ali. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you for all the other speakers. I mean, there's been some incredible contributions, and there's so much experience on the panel, but also in this room. So it's a real honour to be asked to speak tonight. So my name's Treacher. I've worked in social care for most of my adult life, and I'm currently working for Unite, supporting the work of organising in the sector and unionising the sector. So as we've discussed, social care is broken, and it has been for many years. It remains privatised, disseminated by financialisation, fragmentation, and it's poorly regulated. We know that services aren't good enough, and unfortunately there's no shining example of when social care was adequate. We just need to listen to our disabled comrades and the carers on the panel tonight to hear that. We need to, social care is often scarce, and reliant on poorly trained staff, and doesn't offer choice or control, which we all deserve. A radical rethinking of how social care is provided is required, and we must think beyond the scope of older people's care and issues around bed blocking. This must look at support for disabled people, kids with additional needs, working with people with addictions, and supporting those experiencing mental distress. Workers in the sector must remember why we came into the sector and battle not just for workers' terms and conditions, but for services which our communities require and deserve. Social care remains the unsolvable public policy, with countless governments passing the hot potato, as opposed to making fundamental changes required to ensure adequate provision for people to live comfortably and realise their true potential. After Johnson's claims of fixing social care with the social care levy, just months later, Jeremy Hunt, in his autumn statement, U-turned, pleading poverty and postponing any implementation of changes until 2025. Not a single penny of new money has trickled down to social care, and all the hope that the true value of our work, which we proved throughout the pandemic, would be seen and remunerated, has been lost. The realisation that there's no change on the horizon. Many of us, of course, were dubious of the Deal Not report and saw these changes as grossly inadequate, focusing only on capping the expenses of social care rather than improving provision and addressing the needs of the workforce. Saying this, something is better than nothing, and nothing is what we've landed ourselves with. I'm going to concentrate mainly on the problems of the workforce, but it's a bleak situation. So I am going to end with resistance as well, as these meetings are so important, because we need to be envisioning of what support services must look like moving forward, but also bolstering the resistance of workers and disabled people pushing for change. There's over 165,000 vacancies within social care, and the sector remains plagued by precarious contracts and low pay. 165,000 vacancies isn't just a number, it's an empty space. It's a workforce pushed to the brink. It's understaffing to the extent that safe service provision is at risk. It's caseload so big that staff are burnt out and sick because of their work environment. Just last week, I spoke to a worker at a drugs and alcohol charity who explained that she had a caseload of 65 complex individuals needing many requiring scripts and daily medication. She was in tears whilst she explained that she had worked in the sector for 22 years, but the job was causing her to have both physical and mental conditions. And she apologetically wept while she said, just Ali, I can't face this anymore. My nerves are shot. This isn't just one worker. This is 22 years of experience. This is a lifetime of knowledge and gained skill. And this is another in the growing number fleeing the sector because these jobs are untenable. Turnover remains disgracefully high, with nearly 50% of the workforce leaving within the first year. This is the bleak face of it. I want to turn to resistance now and highlight the Unite members and support workers at Hestia who are going out on strike next week. These workers are striking over unsafe caseload numbers, bureaucratic expensive procedures, and low pay. These workers have caseloads of 15 to 20 individuals when fully staffed. They've never been fully staffed. The workers are also striking because their unique skills are never recognised. And these workers aren't just support workers, they're now translators too. This work is systematically ignored by the employer, who refuses to recognise their worth. And the workers are taking 2 days of industrial action in London on the 12th and 13th of December. And it'd be really great for message of solidarity and, turning up to their pickets in London would be great. These workers are an example for us all. And I'd like to add my unwavering solidarity to all those workers at Shelter, the housing charity, who offer housing advice for those facing insecure housing, homelessness and eviction, who have started a 2-week strike today, and there's been picket lines across the country. They are striking following the shameful imposition of 3% increase, leaving many of the workers themselves struggling with rising rents and not being able to afford to heat their homes. And I'd like to end on this point, that we should not think of social care as a service which is done to us. Social support must be the fabric of our communities. Access to transport, green space, community space, and advocacy and advice services for all. Social care is not a one-size-fits-all. It's an intricate puzzle, and the guiding principle of us unpicking this intricate puzzle must be meaningful co-production. So thank you very much for having me on this esteemed panel, and it's been incredibly emotional, and I look forward to building that resistance with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sally. Thank you very much. Very powerful messages again.